We also see a lot of trends across the network towards disaggregation and now fully embracing cloud-native technologies for almost every element of the network.
The most important thing is actually the work that the vendors and the operators who participate in validating roadmaps, validating solutions in lab environment, and in some cases also in live networks. Hence we get those bronze, silver, and gold badges out there. We will continue to expand.
So we are describing some use cases at this moment in the project, but we start also some work on an architecture blueprint. What would be the same architecture for AI for network and network for AI?
It's only going to be Open RAN sites, and we have targeted to complete about 50% of our network to be Open RAN by end of 2027.
I mean, congratulations to you and Bernard for putting money where your mouth is.
Now we are going back to the community and saying, guys, this is what we are saying. I think this is where the ecosystem is lagging behind. This is the solution that doesn't exist. So now the suppliers are working very closely with us, trying to fill those gaps.
Open LAN is really a natural progression of where the industry is going towards open systems.
And it has also meant that during that journey there has been a lot of innovations which we have been able then to productize to the market and build the new services. Not only offering those services to other telcos, but also to other industries.
And I don't know, if you have a direct contact and in daily operations, with the vendors from both at the same time, like Europe, US, and Asia, but those worlds are now falling apart technologically.
I got problems. That's why it's my big problem.
For us, this year is actually very important in terms of narratives. In previous year, Open RAN has talked a lot about the technology. This year we're beginning to see that it's a lot about deployment and how do you scale, what is the experience. So that's very interesting for us. And then how to pivot to how can we add AI to what we are currently doing, whether that's from the optical side or the RAN side, is very, very important.
I would say earlier next year, Q1 2026 is when we'll have. When we implement AI-based anomaly detection, it's much better than what we are used to doing with the static configuration for energy saving. So that's the progress that we have made.
There's a lot of what XApps can do, but there's also a lot of room in what can be done, at least with the right intelligence in a non-real-time RIC.
But we are already approaching a minute granularity on KPIs, which is basically a good step toward XApps.
What I'm really focused on is doubling down on that. We're building a lab at Orange that will showcase use cases for telcos to go after. We're building blueprints that will help telcos build both the hardware and the software in the correct fashion. I want telcos to be at the forefront of adopting AI.
Well, it's always a pleasure to be here at FYUZ. Yesterday I participated as a judge in the hackathon organized by TIP and AWS. I was impressed to see all these projects, startups and students focused on agentic AI.
But the base models that we have trained our solutions with are close to 70% to 80%, somewhere in that vicinity.
Yep. 4G was about IP-based services, voice and video. That was really its focus. Then we went to, and many other things. Speed was important, there was many other things in there, but that was a big focus there. If I think about 6G, 6G is going to really be where the systems are designed for AI. We have to change. We have to change how we think about things. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
We are building a global cognitive network. So a system can be cognitive but not conscious, but a conscious system has always to be cognitive.
The interaction between HP and TIP, it's more between what TIP enables in terms of community. We work with different people participating in TIP, being our colleagues of infrastructure, our colleagues, and I call that colleagues because we are partners, providing the solutions from a software perspective, and the operators that are implementing it. More than just talking about one domain of where we are talking, we are specializing the resources that we have involved in TIP to have the right conversations with the right people.
Openness remains critical.
To approximately 500,000 end users, that across 12 countries, that means we have over 200,000 access points in deployment. Why are we using Open Wi-Fi? It's a great solution.
Disaggregation and the communities behind it transform the industry for the better.
If we all don't succeed, none of us will succeed.
Open Wi-Fi, compared with traditional vendors, is access to the source code and access to the development team.
It's an open disaggregated stack, we know that, but it's an open system, we know that. It's open code.
So what we do at Helium is creating what is called a decentralized networks.
In open Wi-Fi adoption over the last number of years, and it's approaching 400,000 devices deployed globally.
Shasta is built on top of open Wi-Fi, open LAN, switching, and ultimately looking to build and continuing to build this ecosystem as part of this community.
And so Jamaica came around and they say we want a national dashboard. We want to be able to see all our schools across 14 parishes.
We're no longer restricted, and that's a big part of our strategy.
The way we as Tier 1 operators are communicating with each other, how we are maybe sometimes behind the scenes are exchanging informations about the things that are working and that are not working.
Our deployment is 4G and 5G and no proprietary hardware.
What I can say is that we haven't selected all the suppliers for the radios yet.
I think we Ericsson took an early decision to sort of embrace Open RAN in all three pillars, the cloudification.
So that combined with our Manta Ray SON, that will be our platform as we move forward. And there's a reason for that. And that's because we've actually developed ourselves, and our CSPs have developed a lot of SON applications.
I think we've heard many of the speakers also this morning during the panels is data, right? So having a software-centric network and creating that strong base is quite critical.
That's where we see the change happening to adjust the network topology, make it more flatter, fabric-centered, more Ethernet-based, more open for customers or business enterprises and applications to have access to them.
We are interested in interoperability, okay, between pluggables and routers and with the SDN controllers.
We are challenging our OBs with a target of at least 60% of the optical capacity should be over IP over DWDM in the next years.
So when we started with the basic bread and butter for what we call tower cos. So tower business, built-to-suit or co-location businesses, and then we added on top of it for the additional radio services.
This year, I think they also moved the main hall keynotes, and they moved the location of the main hall. Instead of the big auditorium, they moved it into the smaller room on floor 1. That makes it a lot more intimate, and I like that a lot better than last year's.
There is also everything related to the configuration, automated configuration of the radio network.
It turned out to be a very, very simple, elegant approach.
We have to recognize that perhaps the most important thing we have to do is separate the subscribers from the hardware.
So together we'll discuss not only joint opportunities, but also challenges of bringing AI into the hands of field technicians.
So this year we started working with I40Y Lab on use case 9 that focused on energy saving. But in 2025, we do mostly with simulation. But then in 2026, we're looking forward to combining that with real base station because we want to prove that repeatable and consistent testing is possible. And also we can integrate our apps to real networks and we can validate the solutions.
What that means is we use Fourier transforms technically, but we move from just a pure communications view to a joint radar and communications view.
we want to be open source, and we are open source.
Is the customer the developer, or is the customer the industry, or is the customer, what part of the value chain?
And in those markets, this is very relevant, the complementary approach of the satellite, of the direct-to-device.
The fact is that 3/4 of the traffic that goes over the networks today is video.
What we also know, that it looks like there will be need for more uplink traffic. There are a number of lessons from 5G. We made it too complex.
As we move towards 6G, the network has got to be constantly evolving.
We have to be ready for AI, we have to be ready for 6G. That means having a network that is future-proof. And for that, and that's what I'm more involved and more engaged on, is how do we build a network that is disaggregated, that is open, that is resilient, and that can move at the pace of software innovation, right? That can be agile enough to bring innovation fast and agile.